As a startup founder, we use a lot of subscription-based software, for example, MailChimp, Google Drive, or Dropbox, etc. We will get the receipt each month by email, and it takes time for bookkeeping. In this video, I will demonstrate how I automate the bookkeeping process by using Zapier and ChatGPT. And of course, if you are not using Zapier, you can also use Make.com or N8N. The process is similar. The automation has 4 steps. For the trigger, we cannot trigger on every new email received because not all email contain the receipt, right? So we only trigger when there is receipt inside. We will first need to filter the Gmail first. I will show you later. After the automation trigger, we send the email content to ChatGPT. We ask ChatGPT to extract the useful information. For example, this is the receipt from Google Pay. The useful information here is the item name, the amount, the date, and the currency. And I will show you the prompt later. After ChatGPT extract the useful information, we need to have an extra step to format the text so that we can save the data into Google Sheet or another accounting system. Some additional information you need to know: there is different form of receipt. In this example, the receipt is a text inside an email, and sometimes the receipt is an attachment or it is a JPEG. So if this is a JPEG, you need to have an additional step to using some kind of OCR application to extract the text from an image. I'll allow demo how to filter the email. First, go to your Gmail and find one of the receipt email. After I click into it, you can see there is a label. The label called receipt. This label is applied automatically, and this label will trigger the automation. So how to apply this label automatically? After you go inside the email, there is an option here. You click this and select filter message like this. There is different option to filter the message. In this case, I suggested to use the subject line. You can see every time the subject line is the same, which is your Google Pay order receipt. So I copy this subject line and go to filter message. So you can see there is 2 conditions. The first condition is the email sent from this email, and the second condition is the subject line contain your Google Pay order receipt. Then I click create filter. Here I select apply the label and choose the label you want. In this case, I choose receipt. If you don't have any label here, remember you need to first create a new label and then click create filter. Done. So every time you receive an email that the subject lines contain your Google Pay order receipt, your email will apply the receipt label automatically. After we create the filter in Gmail, we can now start to build the automation. In Zapier, we first set the trigger, which is Gmail. And for the event, remember we need to choose new labeled email. And then we click next. For the trigger, we simply choose the label we just create, which is receipt. And then we can text the trigger. If you cannot find any record here, you need to go back to Gmail and double check. See if there are any receipt label applied on your email. You can see there is a lot of information inside the email. Later on, we only need the data from body plane. It contains the information we need, which is the amount, the item name, etc. Next, we create an action to extract the information from the email. So we choose ChatGPT, event, we choose conversation, and the most important part is inside the action. For the user message, we choose body plane, as I said before. For the model, I would suggest to you GPT-4. It's a little bit expensive, but it's okay because it won't use a lot of token. So for the prompt, you can copy from the video below. I asked ChatGPT to extract the following information from the email receipt that include the item with the company name, currency, transaction date, and the amount. And I also specify the output format that's separate by a comma. I provide an example output here, which also called one-shot prompting. And at the bottom, to output 3-letter code for the currency and the specific date format. For temperature, I would suggest to use lower, for example 0.1. Higher temperature means more creative, but in this automation, we don't need any creative at all. After doing this, we can now test it. takes 3 to 4 seconds to finish. And here is the output. You can see the item name with the company is the Google one by Google. 3-letter currency, the date format I want, and the amount. And it's separated by a comma. We need to have an extra step to format the text. You may ask why we need this step. Let me show you why. If I try to insert the output from ChatGPT here, I put it in a column called item, and then I try to test it. You can see all 4 data go into one column. This is not I want. I want to separate 4 data into 4 different columns, right? So I first delete this, and then I go back to Zapier. So after ChatGPT output the data, we need to have a step called text in formatter by Zapier. For the event, we choose text. For the action, we choose speed text. For the input field, we choose the output from ChatGPT. We need to provide the logic how to separate the text. In my case, we separate the data by using a comma, right? So we simply put the comma here, and Zapier will do the rest. For the last step, segment index, we need to choose all. If you choose first, which means you only need the first data. If you choose last, it means we only need the last data. But in this case, we need all data, right? So we choose all at separate field. We then click continue and test. You can now see the data now become 4 items. And last step is really simple. You simply connect to your accounting software or Google Sheet in my case. So I choose my Google Sheet. Then I simply match the data I want. For example, date, I choose the output item 3. For the item, I choose output item 1. And for the currency and the amount, finally, I test again. I go back to Google Sheet. The date here seems incorrect. It is because the formatting issue. So I choose the column and select format and set the format become date. It's all right now. That's the end of the video. Let me know if you have any automation you want to know more. See you next time.